So I was able to get out of body starting from a place other than my home. So I started from my warehouse. So I do need to fall asleep for about 15 minutes in or at work. And this is unfortunate, but it's necessary. I don't like to, walk around for several hours all drowsy. I don't like to fall asleep standing up and moving. So I do need to fall asleep. And nobody knows where I go except for my manager because he's mature. If he needs me when I'm sleeping, he'll come find me and wake me up for a good reason. Everybody else doesn't really understand what's going on, so I go up to this remote area, and typically nobody goes up there, and I just lay down on the concrete, or I just start to lay down because I can't get out of body. Sitting down, I feel like I'm gonna fall on my face all the time because of course I wake into sleep paralysis first. And if you're in sleep paralysis and you're not lying down, you're gonna feel like the physical body is close to being damaged or it's threatened. So it's pretty hard. So I started to lay down. I just lay down on some concrete, and this is a really weird place. It's like this small dark room. There's lots of weird noises that go off, and I just fell asleep for like 15 minutes, and I woke into sleep paralysis like usual. Pretty much always wake into sleep paralysis when I sleep in weird places. And I knew that if I were to just leave it be, that I would have some weird, hallucinations. And I wasn't about to let that happen. So I just simply projected, and that keeps your awareness away from your physical senses. So I got out of body. The interesting part was that I decoupled out of the back of the head, and I was able to establish this because I could detect the grating on the floor. I went through the grating. It's just this metal grating with the grippy stuff on it, and I went through that, which was kind of weird. And then I ended up in the warehouse. I was looking for a specific employee that I work with who is open to these ideas, because I can actually talk to him about it. I can say, well, did you see anything weird in the last 5 minutes and stuff like that. And I can try to validate the experience. But I just found two unknown guys driving the forklifts parallel down some aisles. So one was in one aisle, one was in the other, and I was trying to swoop down in front of one of them, but I couldn't because I wanted to make myself known. I wanted to present myself to one of them to see if I can actually be visible in the physical world. I've been trying to do this for a while, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but there is this resistance whenever you try to do this with pretty much anybody who isn't spiritual. So if they feel as if it's wrong to see subtle energies because it's just like they might think they're crazy or they're oppressed in some way, it's going to reflect in your ability to move in front of them. You're going to feel this resistance, and that is the resistance imposed by the other person. Sometimes it's your beliefs too. You might feel like it's kind of weird or a bad idea to try to make your energies, your second body or astral body known to physical body propagators, but it's usually the other person. And I felt this resistance in the warehouse. I think it's there for a good reason. I don't want to surprise these people while they're driving the forklifts. I mean, if it was the other guy that I know who's pretty spiritual, who meditates and stuff, he would probably just be like, oh, that's a spirit, and it wouldn't cause him to crash into the racking or anything. But I don't know where he is. I didn't find him. I was actually having problems moving through the warehouse because the walls were so detailed. The walls are very thick and they're very detailed. They have lots of piping in them and stuff like that. And I kept getting caught in the ceiling and in the walls. Took me 2 tries to get into the warehouse where my employees are. There's other parts of the warehouse that are occupied, or the building, not our warehouse, that I kept going into. So I didn't have much time or exertion to present myself to an employee, but I tried. And at the end, it didn't really do it, but I'm going to continue to do it because I do fall asleep every day in this warehouse. Now I know how to actually get out of body. Also, I would really like to present my astral body to this one guy that I know in the warehouse that is open to these things, because I want to get him into astral projection. Like, he's into meditating. He like meditates with his friends, which sounds kind of weird. And he's into all these random, he's open to all those random subtle energy theories and stuff like that. So if I were to get him into astral projection, and he was able to, or I can teach him to do it, then he's going to have a bunch of good experiences that add to his general intuition of all of this stuff. So that's what I am aiming for this year in the warehouse. I actually only work winters in the warehouse for a small amount of time, but I want him to know a lot about what I know. And that's pretty much the main reason why I make YouTube videos. I'm also trying to refine a lot of the ideas that I have. Sometimes I notice or I find flaws in all of my ideas, or things just start to make sense when I start talking about them. This is especially important to me because I plan on completing a book sometime about all of my experiences, all of my observations. I'm not going to try to integrate it with anybody else's observations other than a bit of Robert Monroe's work, maybe Robert Bruce's work, but I'm not going to integrate it with a general consensus on things or any religious beliefs or anything, because that's not very objective at all.